effectively using evidence in English essays. Now, in regards to formatting, punctuation, and referencing, we're going to look at a few different things here. Now, formatting, what it looks like on the page, you would have seen in some of those previous examples, some quotations were indented and some were not. So how do you tell the difference? What do you do with your pieces of evidence? When you have a short quote that is less than 30 words or 2 lines or fewer from poetry, you should make that a part of your paragraph and the quotation is written inside quotation marks. Funny that. So an example of this is as follows. Romeo and Juliet fell instantly in love. They articulated their feelings for each other on one of their first encounters, with Juliet expressing her desires for marriage very clearly when she stated, "If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow." It is clear that despite their incredibly young relationship, Juliet believed that Romeo should be her husband. So that's for short quotes. Make it part of your paragraph. For longer quotes, so these are for quotes that are 3 lines or more from poetry or more than about 30 words. There's no hard and fast rule for prose. But what you do is indent this, okay? It's too big. It makes, if you didn't indent it, it can make it a little bit tricky to read. So when you indent a piece of evidence, like this example here, you don't need to use quotation marks. The indenting already makes it clear that this is a quotation. So let's read through this example. When Romeo's closest friend Mercutio is killed by Juliet's cousin, Tybalt, the tragic mess of the situation is also conveyed through dialogue. Romeo states, "This gentleman, Mercutio, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf, my reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman." Romeo is not oblivious to the damage caused by his relationship with Juliet. He mourns the irony of the situation, that he and his new family, the Capulets, should be responsible for the death of a loved and important one. This quote is more than 2 lines long, so we indent it. It has no quotation marks around it. You will notice that the citation here still comes at the end of the quotation. Some teachers like you to italicize your quotes, whether they're indented or not. But that's a personal stylistic choice for markers, so your best bet is to check with your teacher. Now, in regards to punctuation and referencing, there's a few things to look at here. Mrs. Higgins reveals that her son offends all her friends. They stop coming whenever they meet him. He fidgets and cannot sit still and can't be bothered with the prospect of marriage. So there's a few features here to look at. First of all is the use of ellipsis, those 3 dots in a row. An ellipsis indicates that there are words missing in the sentence, because remember that when you're quoting something, you should be replicating it exactly as it is on the page. By putting in the ellipsis, you are showing that you've been discerning and you're only quoting the things that you need, but you've kept it the same. We also have square brackets here. Now, square brackets are used to change the grammar of the original sentence to suit the grammar of the sentence you've already started in your narration or your discussion or your argument. This student has started talking about Mrs. Higgins in regards to what she thinks of her son. Okay, she would have said, "offends all my friends," but that doesn't work with the sentence that this student has written. So this student has changed my to her, indicated that change in square brackets, and it makes the sentence much more fluid and easy to read. Okay, the same thing with him. This student has changed the character's name that was there. Let's look at the citations. The citations come after the quotation mark, as we've already established. We always have the author's surname, the year of publication, and the page number. The full stop comes after the citation. That makes it really clear which sentence the citation belongs to. Let's have a look at a slightly different example. Fitzgerald gives Nick a muted tribute to the hero. Gatsby turned out all right at the end. You can see in this citation that there's no surname for the author there. The author has already been established in the sentence at the beginning, so they're not needed again in the citation unless you're discussing multiple authors or texts in the same sentence and you need to be really clear about which text that quotation or evidence actually came from.